Hello there. And before we can let you listen to the real deal, I first have to let you know that this is a fan project. It is in no way related to or connected to or approved by DC Comics. So yeah, I think that covers our butts. So without further ado, here's A Cold Night in Gotham. Enjoy. Richardson? Richardson, stop the truck! No, do not stop the truck, Kevin! Graves ordered, desperately trying to salvage the dissolving situation. What the hell is going on back there? Is everything all right? Officer Richardson called back into the holding compartment. Will you stop the truck? Okay, Richardson? No, do not stop this truck, Kevin. Not until we are at Arkham Asylum. That is a direct order. Graves demanded, his orders sounding less concrete with each heated exchange. What in the hell is going on back there?
Oh, it's just a little fight between Mommy and Daddy. I'm sure it'll be over very soon.
The Joker quipped. The situation was messy at best. A good cop being pushed too far too soon on the job. A cop too scared to go back out in the streets, hiding behind the safety of an armored car. The most dangerous man in Gotham doing his damnedest to stay out of his cell, and a cop some would have written off as a lost cause, struggling to remember what it's like to be hopeful and good in order to save a kid from becoming the very thing they had sworn to fight. Okay, look, we're just a few minutes from Arkham, so keep it together back there, okay? It's gonna be fine. Richardson said through the metal divider. The fear in his voice had gone from slight discomfort to complete panic. The armored car was supposed to be a safe position after all, contrary to how the night was playing out. We have to stop the truck, Graves. My wife is gonna die. You don't understand. Bullshit, I don't understand. I've watched plenty of my brothers and sisters lose their loved ones, okay? Some of them have family members that were taken too. Husbands and wives. Kids, for Christ's sake. So don't you tell me I don't understand.
You're forgetting about the dog. And here I thought they were man's best friend. So much for loyalty.
You think the Joker's really gonna let them all walk free after this? Graves inquired, trying to poke holes in the Joker's deal.
That's true. Your wife will walk free, of course. But at the very least, that puppy's going to be a new pair of fabulous mittens for me. These Gotham winters can be so cold, and I do look wonderful in white.
The Joker remarked dryly. We can say he broke free, okay? That he overpowered us. He's the Joker! He breaks out of jails all the time. Why is it such a big deal? Price reasoned. His grip on the situation was tenuous at best, and his weapon was beginning to shake with the same uncertainty. Listen to yourself. This isn't you, kid. You're letting him win. If he gets out, he'll just do this again. He'll kidnap more people, over and over again. It's like you said, we can't let him do this to us. We can't lose our code. Price stopped. Graves was right. Even if the Joker let his wife go and never came after them again, there was still a chance that another one of his twisted pranks would take her life. Or the life of someone else's loved one. But one thing was certain. The Joker couldn't make it to Arkham, because while the chances of his wife surviving, if the Joker was released, were slim, her chances of living to see the morning, if he made it to Arkham, were none at all. So, as long as you don't get to Arkham, she goes free? How will your men even know? Price asked, with a change in his tone that made Graves uncomfortable.
Oh, I don't have to tell them anything. As soon as your oh so easily traceable dispatch gets a call saying that I'm free, and the sun rises without my handsome mug in Arkham, your wife will be free as a bird,
the Joker said with a Cheshire smile that could be felt through the cover on his face. He's not going to Arkham, but I don't have to let him go either, Price said, staring 1,000 yards through the Joker. What are you saying, Price?
Oh, I like where this is going. Who knew you had it in you, rookie?
We call it in. The Joker got away. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just another night in Gotham. So what? We just wait until morning to turn the freak in? I'm not spending all night with this clown. No. No, he obviously has men in Arkham, and they'd know. They'd come for my wife again, and I can't take that risk. Then what, Price? What are you suggesting? The Joker isn't going to Arkham, and he's not going free. Not the way that he wants to, that is, Price said, pointing his gun at the Joker's chest. A cold chill shot through Graves' spine as he realized what the rookie cop was suggesting. No, you cannot do that, kid. That is way over the line. Look, I know I said it wasn't fair that all these freaks get to punch each other up and down our city, and we have to play by the rules, but this isn't just breaking a rule, it's breaking the rule, kid, alright? You were right earlier, okay? We can't kill him, alright? He's defenseless.
Finally! I've been trying to get my pointy-eared playmate to do this for years. But can you really do it? Have you got what it takes? After all, I'm just a man in need of help. I'm sick. I need a doctor. It's not even my fault that I do these things. I'm practically innocent. I'm not right in the head.
Look at what he's doing to you, kid. You can't do this.
Oh, I don't know about that. The look he's got in his eyes. I think our little boy in blue is ready to take a walk on the dark side. So go ahead, kiddo. Take the emergency exit into madness.
Listen, kid, this is wrong. And we're cops. We have some lines we don't cross. Just stop and breathe. Think about what matters. Tonight, the only thing that matters to me is my wife, Price said as he pulled the trigger. Officer Graves leapt, tackling Price and pinning him to the wall. Oh my God, is there a gun back there? Officer Richardson screamed back into the holding cell. 3 more shots rang out. Okay, look, I'm pulling over, okay? I'm pulling over. Richardson yelled as the armored truck rolled to a stop on the side of an empty road. The large metal transport vehicle stuck out against the trees and nightlife along the old, cracked road leading to Arkham Asylum. The red and blue lights still flashing on top of the truck, sending dancing beams of crimson and cobalt against the pitch-black forest. Graves sat slumped against one of the bench seats, bleeding out, struggling for consciousness. A gaping hole through his stomach where the bullet had torn through his flesh, letting his warm blood pour out into his hands. He looked up at the crazed officer standing in the center of the transport, still pointing his weapon at the prisoner. The Joker, the jester of genocide, chained in the back of a Gotham City police transport, with 2 holes in his chest. What have you done? Officer Graves struggled to say. The adrenaline and shock had begun to fade from Price's body and mind, the fear that had gripped him replaced by shock. He'd killed the Joker. He'd broken the law. And he'd shot another police officer. How could he have done that? Surely, it was an accident. He didn't really mean to do it. The feelings of guilt and shame crashed down on him with so much force he began to faint. And just as the cold began to tug at the back of his mind, a sound ripped Officer Price back to reality. A hissing sound. A sound coming from the body of the Joker. A green fog began to spew from the holes in the Joker's chest, and from the mouth that only moments ago had been taunting the 2 officers. The jade-colored cloud filled the threaded cover, resting on the once kingpin of crime's face, as it slowly drifted through seams and found its way out through the base of the hood, spreading along the floor and walls of the vehicle. As the gas left the bleeding body of the Joker, a barely audible final laugh left his lips as death overcame him. Price began to panic yet again. Oh my God! What's happening? He yelled in terror. His heart was racing and his mind aching for an answer, for a way out of this nightmare. His panicked breathing turned into coughing, and slowly the coughing turned again, into laughter. Cold, casual, familiar laughter. Guys, we gotta hurry up, okay? Look, Arkham is just around the corner, and I think there's another car coming up on the road. We gotta get moving now. Richardson said as he opened the back doors to the armored transport. The flickering, broken lights from inside blinded the officer as a flowing mass of green fog rolled out from the floor of the carrier, dissipating into the cold night air and rain. Oh my god, what happened back here? Richardson begged for a logical answer. His response was shorter than expected, but unmistakably telling. A final shot rang out as a bullet entered Officer Richardson's skull. The loved and respected member of the Gotham City Police Force fell to the ground unceremoniously and as a lump of inactive muscle tissue, devoid of soul or purpose. A barely functioning Graves watched on in horror, the cold crawl of death making its way from his limbs, coming for his heart. The injured police officer tried to form words, but none came. Only a quiet groan managed to escape his lips. The man that had once been Officer Price jumped down from the armored truck, looked around, and found his reflection and the pooling blood beside Richardson's body. The warm, viscous fluid formed a cherry-red mirror for the man to soak in his visage. His skin was noticeably more pale than before, and his right eye had changed from brown to emerald. Taking in the grandeur of his own shifting facade, a light began shining on the scene that had played itself out. Another car had indeed been on the road tonight. The man that had once been Officer James Anderson Price stood up straight to greet the arriving audience, the first to truly witness his splendor.
There he is!
A woman's voice cheered from the approaching vehicle. The car pulled to a stop in the middle of the road, and a small bouncing figure emerged from beyond the glow of the headlights.
I found Mr. J!
She called out to unseen figures still cloaked in darkness.
You were right, all we had to do was follow the thing on the blinky box. We knew you'd show up eventually.
The woman said as she approached the man that had once been Officer Price. I'm sorry. Do you know me?
Oh, Puddin', of course I know you! You're the Joker and I'm your Harley Quinn. We're Gotham's ride-or-die power couple, although you've been doing the dying recently.
She said as she looked at the bloodied bodies in the armored truck, the once Joker among them, still chained and seated.
Looks like you got the last laugh.
Harley said as her eyes darted up and down her new man's figure, drinking in the changes already present.
Oh, Puddin', I love this one on you. He looks so young and handsome. We're gonna have loads of fun breaking in this one.
Harley said, bursting with glee. The newly crowned Joker stood there as Harley wrapped her arms around him and pressed her face into his chest as though he were some extravagant stuffed teddy bear. He wasn't sure what had happened, who this woman was, or how he'd found himself on the side of the road with corpses and a gathering gaggle of circus-themed thugs. Memories tried desperately to claw their way back into his mind. A camping trip, a first date, a wedding day, the name of his first dog, the color of a childhood bike, and his own name. But as quickly as each memory breached the surface of sanity, the bubbling poison of madness swept over them, erasing them entirely and dissolving them into nothingness. This new pale-skinned man was unsure of so much about his past, present, and future. But one thing was crystal clear. He was the king, and the king was ready to carve up the city until it was screaming his name, until it was screaming Joker as it collapsed into chaos. The more he chewed the name over in his head, the more certain he was that the name had belonged to him. True, it had belonged to the captured criminal he'd shot only moments ago, once upon a time. But that Joker was dead. Long live the Joker. This Joker wouldn't be caught so easily. It was his sole purpose to steal away the unearned optimism of Gotham City, to inspire madness in the hearts of young and old, and to deliver life's cruelest punchline. Gotham's resident trickster had been reborn. The Joker smiled his first true smile. Well then, we'd better get out of this rain and get me into a proper suit. The city's not going to burn itself.
That's my Joker.
Harley squealed.
But how can he be the Joker if his body's right here in the truck?
A man in clown's makeup asked, stepping out of the darkness. So wait, are we just accepting every sad white boy with a bad makeup job as the Joker now? What, are we gonna go to Hot Topic for the next one? I mean, come on, is this some kind of joke? Another thug chimed in.
Joke?
You want a joke, funny guy?
Well, here's your punchline.
The Joker said as he shot both men dead.
Bunch of chuckle-headed buffoons. What's a crowd anyway?
Harley watched her former bodyguards fall to the ground without fanfare or respect.
Well, so much for Harry and Lou. Just one more thing before we get going, okay, Puddin'?
The Queen of Gotham's greatest criminal menace kissed her king on the lips. The chaos, the menace, the danger, and the all-so-powerful touch of love she'd felt the first time she kissed the Joker was all there. And tongue, that was new. Her crimson lipstick left a perfect mirror on her new jester's lips. Harley stepped back and smeared the edges outward across her man's pale new face, the red of his lips forming the telltale grin, framing his dastardly smirk with a ruby curve.
Mwah. There, now that's how the Joker looks. And the kiss is an improvement, too.
Just wait until you see what else I can do, Harley, my dear.
The Joker cackled as the criminal duo hopped into their car together.
Oh, I almost forgot. Your new fluffy gloves are in the glove compartment, Puddin'.
Harley said, as the Joker accelerated the car, and the criminal duo took off like a bat out of hell, the car disappearing into the night, laughter echoing against the rain-soaked landscape of Gotham City. The criminal couple were off to find another secret hideout to begin the reign of a new Joker. 15 minutes later, the lights of a very different car shone a spotlight on the grim scene. 2 clowns, both dead. 2 officers, one dead, one in critical condition, and the once body of the Joker chained in the back of a vehicle. 2 heavy black boots stepped out onto the ground, the chirp of his comppiece cutting into the silence before him.
Jim, we have a problem.
What is it? Is it Dent? Did he get away?
No, Jim. It's something worse. The Joker. It happened again.
The end. Well, we hope you enjoyed this little adventure into an audio drama. Stay in touch with the latest Poppycock podcast episodes. Or else, I'll kill you.
All joking aside, we really are appreciative of everyone who went on this journey and listened to it. This is something brand new for me and all of my friends who were involved in this. I'd never written a short story, I'd never voice acted, I'd never cast roles in a voice acting thing, I'd never recorded my own sound effects, I'd never sound designed. All of it's very, very new for me and for my buddies as well. If you want more of stuff that like the 2 initial cops, Ryan and Esposito, in real life, they're Alejandro and PJ. You can check out the X Button podcast or StatX. That's where they're at. Super cool guys, and they're the ones that got me into all this stuff in the first place, so definitely worth checking out. We really appreciate everyone who's been part of the Poppycock podcast, whether it's has the actual podcast, the YouTube channel, or the website. We really appreciate you guys helping our numbers grow and just looking at the stuff that we do and enjoying it and having conversations together, because we're talking about topics that are subjective. So unlike politics and science, where people get really mean towards each other, we can disagree about something and still be nice to each other. And honestly, it's just kind of a nice change of pace to be able to disagree and still be nice to each other, because it seems like a lot of people have forgotten how to do that. Now, this whole thing started off because 2 fans of DC Comics were talking to each other about how the Joker isn't dead yet, and that's weird. But given the time that this released, I feel like it's only appropriate to dedicate this in honor of the other Joel, who has touched Batman's life as well. And that's Joel Schumacher, who recently passed. His movies may not be your favorite, but when we were kids, they sure were fun to watch. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, Robin's costume was pretty rad in both of those movies. Had some nice Nightwing nods to it, and that's pretty cool. And when you're a kid, it's just fun to watch. As adults, we can be cynical about it, but we enjoyed it as kids, so don't act like you didn't. And when you think about it, a guy who dresses up in a big rubber bat suit every night, putting nipples on the costume is far from the weirdest part of that equation. So maybe cut the guy a break. And a controversial opinion here, but Val Kilmer is a very underrated Batman. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So, Joel, your movies were strange, but we appreciate what you did anyway. Rest in peace, my man. If you want to read more of our stuff, you know where to find us, and we really appreciate you coming on this journey and checking out our fan creation. It's something silly and fun, and I hope it's something that sparks some conversations with you and your friends and family. So, thanks for being awesome fans, and we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel. We don't own the rights to that. Please don't sue us for that either. Oh, God.